All right, so our notes today, we're looking at number 5. All right, now I'm going to circle notes because on the back of this is where your homework is going to be. Please remember, try not to work ahead, stay with the class, because we're going to fill in our notes together, and then you'll have the rest of the period to get your homework done. All right? Okay, so what we're going to do today, it's going to look like we're doing a lot of stuff. It's going to look like we're doing a lot of different things. But guys, all we're doing is we're taking the knowledge that we've learned about algebra for the past 3 weeks, and we're going to apply it to these inequalities. So if I look at this first example, it's saying state whether the given value is a solution to the equation or the inequality. And we're just going to write yes or no. So we're going to say yes, it works, or no, it doesn't work. All right? And you'll see when I read this, it says 15 is greater than or equal to 3x minus 7. And then what does it say down here? Or x equals 6. So what do you think I'm doing with that 6? What is it that I'm doing with that 6? Faith?
Putting it in place of the x.
We're putting it in place of the x. Now guys, I'm going to write really small. I'm going to fit it in here. If you want to come over to the side and do the work, that's an option. If you want to get out a piece of paper to do the work on, that's absolutely fine. So for number 1, what we're going to do here is I'm going to write 15, because am I changing the 15? No. Keep my symbol, greater than or equal to. 3, am I changing the 3? Am I changing my x? What am I changing x to? 6. And then I have minus 7. Okay, so now, guys, now it's just an order of operations problem. I can see over here we have some math that we can work out. So that's where we're going to start. We're just going to work it out on that side. What's the first operation I need to do on that side of the inequality? What's the first thing that I can do over here where it says 3 times 6 minus 7? First operation. Thank you, Gabriella. Times. So, am I doing anything to the 15? No. Am I doing anything to my symbol? No. 3 times 6, though, that's where I'm doing my math, so I get 18. And then it says minus 7. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go back to that. What's the only math that I can do now? Brandon? 18 minus 7. So I get 15 is greater than or equal to, what does 18 minus 7 give us? 11. All right. Now, guys, the biggest thing that I've noticed people having trouble with, we're just going to decide, is this true? Is this true? All right. And we've been using these inequalities a lot, but we haven't been comparing numbers with them lately. So some of us have forgotten. Remember, this is the greater than symbol because it's pointing to the right. So that says 15 is greater than or equal to 11. The other way that we do that kind of quickly is, remember, y'all think about the alligator. The alligator has to eat the big number. Is that what's happening here? Yeah, is 15 greater than or equal to 11? Absolutely, because my alligator is eating the biggest number. So is this true? Yes. So is x an answer? I mean, is 6 an answer for x? Yes. Okay, so that's all we're doing here. So we're going to do number 2 the same way. This time, what does it tell me to replace x with? This time, what does it tell me to replace my x with? Sarah Grace? 8. So this time it says for x equals 8. Okay, so this time when I see an x, I'm going to change it to 8. Okay. So I have 2, and then I'm going to put it in parentheses again. 8 plus 30 minus 4, and in parentheses 8, because it's replacing my x, greater than or equal to 14. Guys, on that first step, am I doing any math? No, I'm taking the x, I'm replacing it with a 8. Another word for that is called substitution. Okay, substitution, it's like when you have a substitute teacher, you have another teacher in place of me. Here, instead of having an x, we have an 8 in place of it. All right, order of operations. What does it say I need to do now? Brandon? Parentheses would come first. Now remember, when we see parentheses, that's talking about inside. Inside these parentheses, can I do anything? No, it's just a number. Inside these parentheses, can I do anything? No. So we can't actually do anything with our parentheses. All right, after that, we check for exponents. Are there any exponents? No. But then what comes next? Multiplication and division. Do I have multiplication or division? Yes. So guys, we can do that. And since these two multiplication problems are completely separate, let's do them at once so we can save a little bit of space. All right, again, I can do those because they're completely separate from each other. So 2 times 8 gives me 16 plus 30 minus 32, because we have 4 times 8 there, which is 32. It's greater than or equal to 14. Okay. Now what operation do I need to do? Now what operation do I need to do? Faith? Addition. We're going to add those 16 plus 30, which gives me 46 minus 32 is greater than or equal to 14. All right, and then 46 minus 32, what does that give me? Right? 14. All right, if we need to go over to the side to do that math, we can. All right, if we wanted to go over to the side and do 46 minus 32, that's absolutely fine. 6 minus 2, 4. 4 minus 3, 1. So there's where we're getting that 14. Because remember, guys, are you allowed to use calculators right now? No, guys, the numbers are staying simple. Let's practice our math facts again. So this time it says 14 is greater than or equal to 14. Now, if I just look at that alligator symbol, if I just look at that greater than symbol, is 14 actually bigger than 14?
No.
Is my alligator actually eating the bigger number? No. But is this going to be true?
Yes.
Why is this true? Gabriella?
Because it has a fraction bar under it, which means equal to.
Because it has that equal to bar under it. If it didn't have the equal to, would it be true?
No.
No. But this has an equal to bar, so we're going to say yes. 8 works. 8 is an answer. Okay. So those are cool because it gives me one answer for x. We try it out. If it works, yay. If it doesn't, no. All right. On the next ones, guys, I want you to think about it. When we've been graphing these, we've been putting a dot and then we've been drawing an arrow down the number line. Because is there just one answer for my variable? Is there just one number that can be greater than 14? No. So, guys, you got to remember, all of these problems can have an infinite amount of answers. It can go on forever and ever and ever. Because remember, how long does that arrow go on our graph? Forever and ever and ever. So, trying one number is great. Remember, we can have more than one answer here. So what this is going to do is it tells you to test each value in the replacement set. Guys, what does the word replacement mean? What does it mean if you replace something? Okay? Yeah, you take it away and you put something else. You put something new in its place. So we're going to take these groups of numbers. Do y'all see how that's a group of numbers? All right, and these little fancy squiggly lines, they're called set brackets. So this is a set of numbers. And we're going to replace each number. We're not going to replace each number. We're going to take each number and replace. What can you replace with a number? A variable. So I'm going to take each of these numbers and replace my variable x. And guys, what we're looking for is we're looking for the numbers that make the statement true. All right, what's the first number that was given to me in my list? 2. So guys, I'm going to do 2 first. So instead of writing 7x, I'm going to write 7 with the parentheses 2. Okay, so you should be writing this down with me. Minus 7 is less than 30. So all I've done, guys, is I picked my first number and I'm replacing x with it. Now what do you think I need to do? Friend? Multiply 7 times 2. Now we're going to work it out, guys. So 7 times 2 is 14 minus 7 is less than 30. All right, 14 minus 7. Can we work that out? Yeah, let's keep going. What do we get there, Cameron? 7. So it says 7 is less than 30. Now, guys, our question is that true? Is 7 less than 30? Yes. Remember, you can also look. Is your alligator eating the big number? Yes. So, guys, that worked. What number was that we were using? 2. So I'm going to circle that because that means that number is an answer. That number is going to work. It makes the statement true. If it doesn't work, what do you think we're going to do? X it out, mark it out. Okay? What's the next number I have to try? 4. So guys, we're going to do the exact same thing. The only difference in what we just did and what we're doing now is I don't just have one number. Now I have 4 numbers that we have to try. So we're going to write 7, and then in parentheses, this time we're going to put 4, because that's my next number. Minus 7 is less than 30. Do you see how I'm doing the exact same problem, only this time it says 4 where X was? All right? Now what, Cameron?
We have to multiply 7 times 4.
Perfect. 7 times 4, which is? 28. Minus 7 less than 30. Okay, now what? Okay,
28 minus 7.
which is?
21.
21. And is 21 less than 30?
Yes.
Yes. Is my alligator eating the big number?
Yes.
Yes. So does 4 work?
Yep.
So let's circle it.
What answer would I need to do that? Because we already did 2. It's going up 2, 4, 6, 8.
So while I know, like, logically you can kind of see a pattern happening here, I need you to work out every single number, because what you're doing, you're just not finding the ones that work. You're proving. I worked it out. I showed, did 4 work as an answer? Yeah, so you've got to show it definitely works. I want us to prove that that works as an answer, okay? Which means also I've got to prove if it doesn't work. So you've got to show your work for every single number. That's an excellent question. All right, so we have 7. What's the next number I'm trying? 6. So 7, parentheses, 6. So 7 times 6. Minus 7 is less than 30. Okay, so working this out, order of operations says we got to do that multiplication first. What does that give me, Caleb? 42. Minus 7 is less than 30. So 42 minus 7, what do we get when we do 42 minus 7? 35. Is 35 less than 30? No. Do y'all see my alligator? It's not eating the bigger number anymore. It's very confused. So that is not an option. So on 6, I'm going to cross it out. We don't want to use 6. Okay. All right, guys, even though if 6 doesn't work, we probably could assume that 8 isn't going to work. We still got to show that math, okay? So make sure we're writing down all of the math. You got to show all the numbers. All right, so I have 7 times 8 minus 7 is less than 30. All right, guys, these are a little time consuming. It's not because they're difficult. It's because we got to write down so much work. All right. 7 times 8, what does that give me? 56 minus 7 is less than. And what is 56 minus 7? 49 is less than 30. Is 49 less than 30?
No.
No. Again, is my alligator eating the big number? No. So we're going to mark that out. Okay. So this answer only had 2 solutions. Does that mean in the whole wide world of numbers there are only 2 numbers that can be X?
No.
No. But in this list, only 2 of them work. Okay. All right. So let's do number 4. Number 4. What number am I going to start with on number 4? What number am I going to start with on number 4, Cannon? Number 4. What number are we going to use first? 5. So 5 is the first number given to me. So I'm going to change 5. I'm going to change my X to a 5 minus 6 greater than or equal to 24. So again, the only thing that changed was the X. The only thing that changed was the X. Okay. What do I need to do next, Maya? Careful. Perfect, which is 25. And then we have minus 6 greater than or equal to 24. Right. 25 minus 6, what does that give us? Caleb? 19. Is 19 greater than or equal to 24? Is the alligator eating the big number? No. So is 5 an answer? No, so we're going to mark it out. We can't use 5. All right, now what? Okay.
Use 6.
Use 6. So now we're going to do 5, parentheses, 6 minus 6 is greater than or equal to 24. So now we're just checking to see if that one works. All right, again, we're going to start with those first two numbers. We're going to start with our multiplication here. What do I get there, Cameron? 30 minus 6 is greater than or equal to 24. Okay. 30 minus 6, what does 30 minus 6 give me, Kaylee? 24. All right. Is 24 greater than 24? No. But, what was that, Ava? It's equal, so does this work? Yes, because it had the equal to bar, 6 works. If it did not have the equal to bar, if it just was the greater than symbol, could we circle it? No. All right, keep that in mind, because on your homework, there aren't as many equal to bars. All right, so now what do I need to try? Faith? 7. And guys, since this is the greater than symbol, the bigger my numbers get, do you think they're going to keep working? Yeah, we're talking about something being greater, so as it gets bigger, it's just going to be more and more true. But we still got to show our work. We got to show where we proved that it is an answer. So we're plugging in 7. All right, what do I have to do first here, Ella? Five times 7, which is 35, minus 6, greater than or equal to 24. All right, what's going to be next? What's going to be next, Faith?
35 minus 6.
35 minus 6, which is?
29.
21 is greater than or equal to 24. Oh, 29. Thank you. Woo. Goofy there. Okay. So 29. Is 29 greater than or equal to 24? Yes. Okay. Which, didn't we expect that to happen since I used a bigger number now? So we get 7. Okay. Let's circle 7 because it worked, all right? So even though we know 6 and 7 work, we probably can assume 8 works. Still got to show the math. Still got to prove it. So we're going to have 5 times 8 minus 6 greater than or equal to 24. All right? Starting out with my multiplication, what do I get there, Blake? 40. Minus 6 greater than or equal to 24. Okay, what's going to be next? Faith?
40 minus 6.
Which is?
34.
34 greater than or equal to 24. Is 34 greater than or equal to 24?
Yes.
Yes, which we expected that to happen. We just had to show the math to go with it. Right? Are there any questions about 3 or 4? All right, the problems are a little long, but guys, is the math really hard? No, it's just a lot to write out, okay? All right, so let's look at these last ones. Yay, my favorite. On these last ones, these are like where we were solving equations. Remember, what's the first thing that I wanted you to do when you were solving an equation? What was the very first thing I asked for you to do? Michaela?
See if it's an open circle.
Okay, when we were graphing these, I wanted us to see if it was open or closed, but we're not ready to graph. It says we got to solve, and then we can graph it. So when we were solving, this is going back to last week. When we solved, what was the first thing we had to do, Cole? We want to line through that equal sign, and this time we don't have an equal sign, we have a greater than sign. That's still going to be where my line is. And you know, guys, I'm drawing that line really light. I don't want it to be dark. I don't want it to mess up my work. But that line helps me separate. Okay, because if I do it to one side of the line, I'm going to have to do it to the other. All right? This is where we're talking about those inverse operations. What does inverse mean? It's just a fancy way of saying what? Right?
Opposite.
Opposite. So the inverse is just a fancy way of saying the opposite. So let's look at number 5. What operation is happening on number 5? What operation is happening on number 5? Brandon? Multiplication. And Brandon, what is my inverse? Division. All right, because the opposite of multiplying is dividing. How do you have to write division? Okay? With a fraction bar. I'm still seeing some of y'all in that dot dot. All right, told you I don't want the dot dot. We're going to use a fraction bar. And what is it that I'm dividing by? Because we're looking at where x is. What is it that I'm dividing by? Cameron? 3. And if I divide by 3 on one side, I have to divide by 3 on the other side. All right, now what happens to this 3 on top and this 3 on the bottom with the x? What's going to happen to those, Cameron? They're going to cross out. Because remember, 1x is just x. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1x is just x. Okay, so we cross those out. That line reminds me where that symbol goes, so we're going to put our greater than symbol. And then what do we get over here when I do this division? 1. Okay, so there's my answer. So that's going back to what we did last Thursday. All right, and now this is what we did yesterday where we graph it. When I graph it, what type of dot should I use here, Lyric? We're going to use an open circle. And we're going to use an open circle because can this equal 1? No, so we use an open circle. Which direction are we going to go? Which direction, Kate? It says greater, so we're going to go to the right because great means right. Also, guys, look, remember our arrow trick? What direction is that arrow pointing? Right. To the right, so that means we're going to shade to the right. All right, we like the arrow trick, but the arrow trick will only work when? When will the arrow trick work? As your variable, your letter has to be in front. You can use the arrow, but only if your variable is in front. That variable has to be the boss. So we want it in front, okay? That's going to be important when we look at number 6. Again, my first step is to draw my line. Okay, again, I'm drawing it very lightly, a very light line. All right, Ava, what operation is happening on number 6? What operation? Subtraction. So what's my inverse? What's my opposite, Ava? Adding. So underneath minus 6, I'm going to write plus 6. Guys, am I doing anything with that letter right now? With that variable? No, I'm just talking about the 6. And if I put plus 6 over here, you got to do it to the other side as well, plus 6. Okay. So when I do 8 plus 6, what does 8 plus 6 give me? What does 8 plus 6 give me? Caleb? 14. Okay. This symbol right here, we're just going to keep moving it down. So greater than or equal to, moving it down. What happens to my opposites, my minus 6 and plus 6? What happens to those, Kate? They cancel. Guys, I want to see that line. I want to see that you're marking them out. And every time my marking out goes up and down. Up and down. What's left here? In. All right. Now we just mentioned the arrow trick is awesome. It helps us decide which direction to go. But the arrow trick only works if the variable comes first. Guys, you can't just move that in over. We can in a minute, but guys, when you're working it, that in has to stay where it is. You can't just go, oh, I really want my in over there. I'm just going to put it there. All right. But now that I have my answer, can I flip that entire answer? Yeah, now we can flip the entire thing. So my in's going to go to the front. If I'm flipping the entire thing, do I have to flip the inequality? Yes. Yes, we're going to flip it as well. And then we have 14. So guys, this is what we're graphing. This is what we're graphing. If your letter is not in front, please flip it at the end. Do you get to flip it when you're in the middle of the problem? No. Not until the very end. All right, what type of dot do I need here? Marisol? Colored in dot, a solid dot. And which direction are we going with this one, Cole? Left, because my arrow is, now that I flipped it, pointing to the left. All right. Next one, number 7. Again, just drawing a line very lightly. All right. What operation is happening on number 7? What operation is happening there, Kaylee? What's the opposite or the inverse? Multiply. When you do your multiplication, it's very important. Where should your multiplication go? Where does your multiplication have to go? What was that, Brandon? On top. So I'm going to put times 4 by the K. And if I do times 4 on this side, times 4 on the other side. Because again, guys, what do you notice? When I mark out my 4s, it's going up and down. It's always going up and down. So what's left over there? we should get K. And then we have less than or equal to 16. All right, again, make sure that multiplication goes next to the letter. Because, again, this says K divided by 4. The opposite is K times 4. All right, what type of dot do we need here? What type of dot are we going to use? Kate? Yes. All right, 4 times 4 is? We just wrote times 4, because if I do times 4 on the left, I have to do times 4 on the right. Remember, if I do it to one side, we have to do it to the other. Okay. All right, what type of dot do I need, Caleb? A closed circle, and that's going on 16. You can barely see those numbers. All right, but they're there. We want to fill them in, we can. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. What direction are we going to go? What direction are we going to go? Michaela. To the left. So that's pointing to the left, so we're going to go to the left. Okay. All right, last one. Let's draw our line. What operation is happening, Adriana? On the last one, what operation is happening? What am I doing with that S? What am I doing mathematically to that S? What does it say? All right, right now that doesn't say subtraction. Right now, what does that say? Look up there. What is that? S what? What operation is that? Adding. So we're adding right now. Now remember, our goal is to do the inverse, to do the opposite. So Taylor, what's the inverse of my adding 11?
Subtracting.
So we're going to do minus 11. All right, and if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. Make sure we're filling this in. All right, what's going to happen to my plus 11 and my minus 11? They're going to cancel each other out, which leaves me with S, because those become 0, which goes away. Less than 9. All right, and you can see down here, we're going to have to fill those numbers in. All right, so my 9, we want it near the center. Does it have to be in exactly the center? No, if we wanted to put the 9 here, we can. All right, what comes after 9? 10, and before 9, 8, 7, and 6. Okay. All right, what type of dot am I going to use? What type of dot do I need to use? Lyric? Open, in what direction, Cade? It's the less than sign. Which direction is that pointing? Which? Left. So we're going to go to the left. Okay. So we're going to go to the left. All right, guys, if you flip that over, you have some problems to practice on your own for homework.